So far, 7 by knockout against the veteran Lindon Scarlett. Here's round 2.
Second round of this 8-rounder. Wayne Alexander, the unbeaten prospect in the blue trunks from Croydon in South London. And Lindon Scarlett in the black. Alexander's best win so far over the Irish southpaw Jim Webb. Beat him in the second round. At times he's looked to possess lethal one-punch power. Something a little deceptive about him. Do you think that kind of sort of lights out power is something you're just born with, or something that can be acquired, Glenn?
Well, I think that the real big power punches, it is just something they're born with. It's a technique that they naturally have. And, you know, I think also a state of mind, they're really going with punches. But I think I've always believed that punch power can be developed and improved. But I think Alexander is one of those that, you know, he's naturally a good puncher.
And now he's back to southpaw again. Switch hitting in this contest. Sometimes when fighters do that, they end up only confusing themselves.
Scarlett can be cagey and at times is very slow, doesn't do a great deal, and then just busts out with a few punches. And I think Alexander's maybe just trying to make him think a bit, just keep him busy by changing stance, doing things that little bit different.
Well, he threw that left hand with so much power that when he missed, he was right off balance, Alexander. His career has been held up in the past by illness. He had an attack of shingles which kept him out for quite a long time, Alexander. Beginning to get through with some heavier looking shots, and a rather troubled look on the face of Scarlett a couple of times. Those, I think he felt the weight of those all right. And again,
especially his left hook to the body, he's concentrating on head punches here, but occasionally there he put a straight left in there, puts it in. I think that's such a weakening punch.
Scarlett looking as if he's being softened up here by Alexander in this second round, who's getting through with some significant looking shots now. Remember, he does have this weight advantage of nearly 5 pounds. It's a lot.
Alexander, not a flashy type fighter, but very workmanlike, just goes about his business.
Oh, a left hand to the body. Scarlett gets up with a grin on his face and shaking his head, but it was a good shot. And the bell comes at a very opportune moment for Lindon Scarlett.
Well, that was the body punching that I was saying was taking something out of Scarlett. He wasn't showing too many, Alexander, which is a good thing, but then every now and again just switching it downstairs, and that was again a long straight left hand just as Scarlett was going backwards, and over he goes.
And that's the 13th knockdown Wayne Alexander has scored in his career already, in only his 9th fight. He can hit all right.
Yes, he just dropped his weight there, sat down on his knees, a long straight punch right to the midsection, and I think just the momentum and the power were just taking him over on his backside there, Scarlett.
Big advantages for Alexander. Obvious ones, the computer showing it too. Now round 3, Wayne Alexander, blue trunks, remember, and Lindon Scarlett looking in trouble in the second. Will he be taken out in the third?
Well, I think Scarlett's best chance is he's got to try and go on the offensive, however hard that is. He's got to start throwing punches at Alexander. He's just at this point just going backwards and allowing Alexander to tee off as he wishes.
Oh, big left hand crashed into the side of his jaw, mixing it up to body and head, and you'd be surprised if Scarlett could get through this. Good shot of his own though there, caught Alexander.
Well, I think Scarlett has to try and take the fight to Alexander. He's got to test his defense, to see what his chin's like. You can't just keep being forced back by powerful punches from Alexander.
It's 4 years since Scarlett went in for the British welterweight title with Dale Bryan. He lost honourably on points. Blood around the nose and red and around the face, Scarlett.
Right back, right back.
Again, that body punching, which has been the key for Alexander.
This appeared now a good variety of punches. That's the hook to the body, throws good straight shots to the body as he did there, and mixes it up with both hands, and they all look to have power.
He's definitely breaking Scarlett up here. Roy Francis, get on with it, he says. Never any doubt who's in charge when he's in the middle there. Very composed he looks, doesn't he, Alexander? He never rushes in and picks his punches.
Yes, he's very solid in the way he puts his punches together. Doesn't get overexcited by anything, doesn't leap in. You know, it's just steady, constant pressure.
I'll be interested to see how he fares when he moves into championship class, Wayne Alexander.
Solid long right hand over the top of Scarlett's shoulder.
Frank Black and Jimmy Tibbs on the left there, working with Wayne Alexander, who does his training at the thriving Peacock Gym in East London. Scarlett with Dave Bradley in the corner. Here comes the 5th round of this one. Scarlett, I must admit, I thought he wouldn't get this far about 3 rounds ago. Just a reminder that Lindon Scarlett's in the black trunks here. Wayne Alexander looking again to detonate one of his more detonating punches.
That's how I've got it. I'm giving everything to Alexander. He tried to fight back bravely in the last round, Scarlett, but Alexander had done, for me, far more throughout the round.
Alexander needing to step it up again, you feel, in this run. He hurt him with one there. Ooh, Scarlett catching Alexander with a right hand after Roy Francis had said break, and he's got a cut. He has a cut by the left eye. Looks a bad one too, Scarlett. Is he going to be able to continue? Would be a great shame if this was to end like this, but it is a non-title contest, and there are other fights down the road, of course, for these fighters. It is over. Over in the 5th round, and Wayne Alexander has another stoppage victory. Pity, because it was still quite interesting.
Yes, it was interesting. Alexander was at that point just starting to pick it up. I think he'd hurt Scarlett with a punch just previous to that. He landed, I think it was a right and a left with good punches, and then he pushed forward, and Scarlett a little agitated, come firing back, and even hit Alexander on the break. But I think it was a couple of decent punches from Alexander that may have caused it.
Yeah, 2 good shots from Alexander there, 2-punch combination. And there's a right hand. I wonder if that was the one that opened up the cut.
Well, he dabs
Might
at
well
the
have
eye.
been that shot.
He did dab at the eye just after. I can't see at that point, so I think it could well have been that first right hand, and then you see it, he reacts, clenches his eye and rubs away the blood. And then he's very quick to react, Alexander.
And Lindon Scarlett has just said to Wayne Alexander, let's do it again sometime. Maybe they will.
Ladies and and gentlemen, after 1 minute, 2 seconds of the 5th round, referee Roy Francis stopped the contest. Lindon Scarlett, unfortunately in no position to continue with an injury. The winner, and still undefeated, Wayne Alexander the Great!
That is 9 straight wins now for Alexander.